The key scraped in the lock like a fingernail dragged across bone. I froze in the hallway, silk blouse half button, the stranger's cologne still clinging to my throat. Mark's silhouette filled the doorway, backlit by the sodium street lamp, grocery bags dangling from both wrists. One slipped. Eggs smashed on the tile in slow yellow blooms. The sound cracked louder than any scream. He didn't look at the mess. His eyes, pale winter blue, locked on the smear of lipstick at my collarbone. Not my shade. Never my shade. For months, he said, voice flat as the broken yolks. I counted the receipts. My pulse hammered so hard I tasted metal. The apartment smelled of garlic from the dinner I hadn't cooked, of the lie I'd reheated instead. I opened my mouth to deny, to beg, to explain, but the words curdled. All that came out was a laugh, thin and foreign. It was never meant to last anyway, I heard myself say. The sentence floated between us like smoke. Mark's face folded inward, the way cheap paper crumples. He stepped over the eggs, shoes crunching shell, and set the remaining bag on the counter with the care of a bomb tech. Inside, my favorite wine, the brand we drank the night he proposed. A single red rose, still dewed, lay across the neck of the bottle like a throat slashed open. I backed up until the hallway wall kissed my spine. The radiator hissed, a low animal warning. Somewhere below, a siren dopplered and died. You knew, he whispered. Not a question. A verdict. I had known. Every Thursday for 16 weeks I'd kissed him goodbye at 6:47 a.m., briefcase in one hand, guilt in the other, and driven to the hotel with the broken neon H. I told myself it was oxygen, that our marriage had calcified into routine mortgage, dental appointments, his mother's meatloaf on Sundays. I needed color. I needed proof I still had a pulse. The first time I cried in the elevator. The second I didn't. By the fourth I was scheduling around Mark's spin class. Now the hallway lights flickered, buzzing like trapped flies. Mark's shadow stretched across the floorboards, swallowing the eggs, swallowing me. Say something real, he said. I wanted to. God, I wanted to peel back the months and show him the rot underneath. How I'd started flinching when he touched my waist. How I'd stopped wearing the necklace he gave me because it felt like a collar. How I'd rehearsed breaking up with him in the mirror and always chickened out. But the truth was uglier than the lie. I was drowning, I managed. My voice cracked on the last word. He laughed then, a sound like glass ground under boot. So you fuck someone else to breathe? The profanity hit harder than a slap. Mark never swore. Not when the car died on the interstate. Not when his father's cancer came back. The words sat between us, obscene and glittering. I slid down the wall until I sat in the spilled yolk, cold seeping through my skirt. The radiator clanked. Outside, wind rattled the fire escape like bones. Mark crouched, elbows on knees. Up close I saw the tremor in his jaw, the red threads in his eyes. He smelled of rain and the mint gum he chewed when anxious. Tell me his name, he said softly. I shook my head. Not to protect the man, never that. To protect the last shard of us. Names made things permanent. Names carved initials into trees. Mark reached past me, fingers brushing the wall where our wedding photo hung crooked. He straightened it with one thumb, the way he used to straighten my hair when I cried over nothing. Then he pulled a folded paper from his pocket. Hotel stationery. My handwriting. A doodle of a heart pierced by a key. I found this in your coat, he said. You left it in the pocket like trash. The paper trembled in his grip. I remembered writing it at 2:14 a.m., drunk on bad Merlot in the stranger's mouth, scrawling I'm sorry over and over until the pen tore through. I'd meant to burn it. Instead I'd stuffed it away like a bookmark in a book I never finished. Mark unfolded it slowly. The radiator hissed again, louder, as if urging confession. He read aloud, voice cracking on every word. When he finished, silence pulled thick as the yolk cooling on the floor. Then he did something I never expected. He tore the note in half, then quarters, letting the pieces snow down between us. White confetti over yellow ruin. I'm not leaving tonight, he said. But I'm sleeping on the couch. And tomorrow you're going to tell me why you thought destroying us was easier than asking me to fight for you. He stood. The overhead light caught the wet in his eyes, but his back stayed straight. At the threshold he paused. One more thing. He reached into the grocery bag, pulled out the rose and snapped the stem. Thorns pricked his thumb. A bead of blood welled bright as the lipstick stain. He pressed the broken flower into my palm. Water it or let it die. Your choice. The door to the living room clicked shut. Not a slam. A period at the end of a sentence I hadn't known we were writing. I sat in the mess until the yolk dried to crust, until the radiator cooled and the apartment went dark. The rose wilted in my fist, thorns drawing thin lines of blood that matched the ones on Mark's thumb. Somewhere in the wreckage my phone buzzed, the stranger's name lighting the screen like a flare. I didn't answer. For the first time in 4 months I let it ring.